morning. Dave at SVA Baseball Card Collectors was in a little dilemma because I really had nothing to talk about. I did a nightcap, a nighttime version of the podcast driving home because Manny Machado signed his big deal, 10 years, $300 million to the San Diego Padres. I got my Matthew Liberatore first Bauman autograph card. Paid $15 for it. I think he will get up to the $30, $40, $50 range. That's when I'll sell it and make millions. So I got good news though. My Beckett cards that were graded have come back, and I'm going to pick them up today or tonight. Really? I sound like Kermit the Frog. I am picking up the Beckett graded cards. That was pretty good. But the Beckett graded cards, I'm going to pick them up. I did 13 of them, $20 or $21 with insurance, which is apparently cheaper than doing it on your own. So that was good. Still have another month at least for the PSA ones that I got graded. And the only thing that does suck is I was going to do a video on the cards that I'm going to get graded, and I still might, but I'm going to have to do it at work. But I want it to be very thorough. I'm probably not going to be as thorough. I'm going to probably be doing it quickly, so people at work will call. I might have to actually do work, which is BS, but whatever. So, I did do, however, another video on eBay tips on selling baseball cards. Most of the stuff I've covered on podcasts. Some of it may be new. And it's over at YouTube, SVA BB Collectors, over at YouTube. And it's not showing you. I don't have a computer screen and showing you everything. I think I should, so I can show you what not to do. I actually am running an experiment where I'm doing something what you should not do and see how well it sells. If it sells at all, if it gets any watchers, if it does anything. So it'll be a little experiment on what I wouldn't do and compared to other stuff. Now I know it'll be like, I'm not going to do like the hot, like Juan Soto and make it like super nice and then do something really crappy. I'll do something equal, of what people want. So, but I think it's a good video. I also have other videos out there, so check them out. Mostly unboxing and me whining and cursing. One thing that I'm having a hard time doing is having enough time to write this article about analysis. And I'm going to talk about the methodology that I am going with, and maybe you guys can do it on your own. Because by the time I get this out, the season might be over. So what I was doing is taking the top 5, 6, 7 shortstops in baseball, and I was looking at their pricing of their cards from when they first came out. So at this point, so when Bauman draft comes out, they come out in November. So they came, like these cards, we'll just compare it to this year. So this year they came out in November 2018 or December 2018, whatever the hell. It's one of those months. So I said, well, January 2019, so whatever their next year, that January was, I did the price for that card. I did the price of the card where they came up. So that year that they came up to the majors, which is proving a little tough because some of them went up and down a couple of times. So I may extract that out because it's too difficult for me to figure out, because by that time you may have some fatigue because people, and I've heard about this guy for 2 years now. Sure, I'm sure he's going to be good, and then he pops out and is good. Similar to Kyle Tucker from the Houston Astros. If he goes back down this year because he doesn't play well, his prices are going to drop. But then if he comes back next year and blows it up big, you're not going to get a good gauge of pricing on his card. So I think what I'm going to do, what I'm going to stick with, which is a lot less work, and I think is better, is this time for their first Bauman draft card and what the prices are now. And I was going to pull their stats and compare it to the stats of what people have at that same time. So it will be difficult to speculate on the 2018 guys because they have so little data. There's only a couple of months. But you can tell, even from that, you'll be able to see where their prices are compared to Manny Machado, Travis Story, Francisco Lindor. You know, if their card is only a couple of bucks, $5 for an auto, and they have similar stats to them, it might make sense to get their autograph now and sell later on. I may be too late to the boat. I think for the most part, I love how I talk and then I talk myself out of my thoughts. Because there's not that much time, especially for the new Bauman guys. There's not much data or time. So in December, their prices were going up. They're skyrocketing. Like Casey Mize, his prices for his autos were going for $100. Now they're like $30 or $40. So you had that time where it was big because it was a new product and everybody wanted it, and then it dropped back down. So now it's going to be based on their performance and how well they do, which is the same thing, performance and how well they do. I don't know why, I just said it differently. So that's what I'm doing, comparing their stats from the same exact time and also what their stats are today. Now you'll have some guys that are in the top prospects that have been there for a year or two. So I wanted to check their stats, and I'm going to go with the regular stats. I probably would check WAR, walk percentage also, and strikeout percentage. I don't know if they have exit velocity, but I don't know. I know the harder you hit the ball, you know, the better you're going to be. I don't know. I don't know about all that nonsense. I do know walk ratio, strikeout ratio, and WAR. Those are the three things that I'll be looking for. So if they have very similar numbers and their price is dramatically lower, that may be something that you want to look into. Or if they're similar in price, I'm going to say it's overpriced right now, because just say they come into the majors and blow up. Yeah, it might go a little bit higher, but how much higher is it going to be? Is it going to be better than a Francisco Lindor? Is it going to be better than a Manny Machado? Probably not. And so that's the analysis that you guys could do on your own. I don't know if I explained it clearly enough, because I meandered left and right. But basically what you're coming down is you could compare them, you know, at this time, the January, to when the older, you know, guys came out. And then you could compare the stats of, you know, guys from today that are in the majors and compare it to the prospects that have a little more, you know, stats. They've been there for a couple of years, and compare it. Do they have similar stats? And from there, I think you have a gauge or an idea of the value of the card. Another thing that you have to keep in mind, which, you know, you also have to compare it. I think this is more for this year. I think this is for these guys that are coming out. Compare it to what other guys are going for. So the big guy is Nolan Gorman. I forget. I think he plays outfield. I'm not even 100% sure. Maybe first base. I don't know what position he plays. But you have to compare it to the other guys as well, and see where they shake out as well. Because someone is going to, and there you may also see value as well. But I'm going to stick to my original thesis. I think you should compare it to major league players that are playing and established now, and compare the prices of the established to, you know, the prospects. And maybe there's some indicators or guiding indicators that we can try to figure out as we're doing this that, you know, will help us determine a value of a card better. You know, we may come down to the line and go, wow, you know what? Walk ratio is really the thing to look out for, because all these guys with, you know, a low walk ratio, or you know, it didn't matter how much they struck out or what their WAR was, but their walk ratio is the indicator that we need to look at for the value of cards. It may not be. It may be another stat, and this may not work at all. It's a little science experiment that I'm trying to do, and I don't know. I think it's fun. I've already done most of the work. It's just actually putting everything, all the data together, and I've said it from the beginning. I think Trevor Story is very undervalued right now. I think he's not a minor league, he's not anything, but I think his cards you should be buying now. I don't know why his is so bad. Of course, he's going to have a horrific season, and then everyone's going to see, that's why his cards are so bad. But I don't know. I think his cards are where it's at. As far as draft picks, that's where I haven't made the determination, which is what you want. That's the information you want, and I don't have. That's what I need to take a deep dive in. I'll try to do something shortly. All the time. This is all the time I got right now. Subscribe to YouTube, SVA BB Collectors. Same thing on Instagram. I post pictures on there, stuff that I get. I will be doing a video of my graded cards, probably maybe tonight. I don't know. I'll probably do it on Instagram Live if I do it, and then I'll save it and put it over on YouTube. But it'll be over there. Yep. And I'll talk to you guys later.